Our boy will always be goated, but the truth about Tokita Ohma is something that not everyone likes, and his role in Kengan Mega is controversial for many. Today I'll be breaking down who or what Ohma really is, which was yet again confirmed in the most recent Kengan Mega chapter, alongside breaking down what's next for the Ashura in the current Kengan story. That everyone watching today on the Mysterious Weeb YouTube channel does not want to miss out on. Some very wild fights are occurring right now and are about to continue. So Tokita Ohma is a clone and always has been, 100% confirmed at this point. You cannot deny or ignore this aspect. He is a clone of Shen Wulong, but it's a lot more complicated than just that. The entity known as Shen Wulong is technically over 5,000 years old, could be even older than that for what we know, bringing all this experience, knowledge and techniques to the current day. This is via passing down these aspects with this method all the way since back then until around 85 years ago, at least compared to the current Kengan story. Looking into the cloning research, that when successful was superior to the previous method, but also combined that for the passing down of techniques and memories, which eventually resulted in the current day Shen Wulong that we know. But there was another issue. There is two people within Wulong, the one we see on the outside that has control, and then the one referred to as the tiger within, watching at all times. Therefore, when the current Wulong is cloned, the result will either have a focus on his or the tiger's DNA. At some point after that, we then had Shen Luhan, who was a clone. We don't know which DNA set he got, but if I had to guess, it's most likely the tiger one. And then at some point after that, we got Ohma and Ryuki. Ohma was from the tiger within, and Ryuki from the regular Wulong, explaining the importance of Ryuki for the future when it comes to the narrative of Kengan Omega, why he was referred to as the connector by Naden alongside the Omega as well, and also explains Ohma's insane potential and showing throughout the series. He is technically a genetic monster, unlike pretty much every other character arguably. But when it comes to the past of these two characters and how they got to their current point, that is something we also need to mention. So both of them are very important to the Worm and Wulong as a whole. At some point in the past, Gai Mikaku stole Ryuki from pretty much the Worm cloning facility. But when it comes to Ohma, we don't know what exactly happened to him, how he escaped or anything from all the way back then, as the youngest we saw him was during his flashbacks in Kengan Ashura, where he was already alone and didn't have any connection to even younger in his years, meaning there's probably still more to be revealed, particularly when it comes to the tiger version within Wulong, which of course will explain a lot of stuff as well, so stay tuned for all of that. Now when it comes to the future of Tokita Ohma in Kengan Omega, right now he's training with Kuroki Gensai and talking to Shen Wulong himself. Well, this is being explained in current time, but he's also going to fight Shen Wulong in the future in an official Kengan match, which is more so going to decide the fate of the Kengan Association, or pretty much the whole world for how we know it. But after all that, we also have a new Annihilation tournament being set up for the Kengan Association as well, which could tie in a connection of Wulong as well potentially. We don't know exactly, it's just being confirmed as in the works. And Ohma is definitely going to be fighting in that tournament unless something unfortunate happens, with Nogi wanting Ohma to be his fighter of course. But outside of that, he's teaching Koga, the protagonist of Kengan Omega the Nico style, with him kinda foreshadowing that he doesn't believe he's going to live or will die at some point, which I do believe is a possibility, a real 100% death, but we'll still have a lot of things to see from Ohma in the story, but amazing stuff as a whole. Now we need to get into the other stuff occurring, the real champion tournament, which includes the beginning of round 2, Gao Lang vs Justin, and then Kanaragito vs Lolong. So sit back and enjoy the next section of today's video. I also have some other good news. Like me, a lot of you mad lads are based outside of the US. So for a limited time, my code for gamer subs MWeeb will be doing free worldwide shipping. So any of you guys can check out the free samples, the other amazing products on their platform, which also supports the channel and this content. Thanks, links in the description, don't forget the code. So the first fight of round 2 of the champion tournament, Gao Lang vs Justin, has officially begun, and the start is honestly glorious. Gao Lang domination. Going into this fight, I'm not insanely excited as I don't believe Justin or his opponent, and now Ramon as well, the new characters introduced for this tournament, don't even belong and can't really be considered champions in my opinion. We could have had many other characters replace them, making the tournament far better, but writing wise, these guys didn't really give the justice they deserved. So with all that said, considering Gao Lang's performance against someone like Dorota, I thought he's going to absolutely dominate Justin, and the fight isn't really going to be close at all, which seems to be what's occurring right now thankfully. Gao Lang unleashes his flash, which surprisingly Justin was able to avoid, at least the initial few strikes, but of course one's able to land, which allows Gao Lang to land a follow-up and is already dominating Justin right as the fight begins, dropping more of his cold lines. Therefore, I don't believe this is going to be a very close fight, and the ease when it comes to Gao Lang's victory will give him a big advantage in the final when he faces Kano Gito or Lo Long, as their fight is without a doubt going to be insanely close, with insane injuries coming into the final to face Gao Lang. But with all that said, Justin does have 2 mentioned trump cards that could put Gao Lang in danger and potentially give him the dub. But if we're looking at this from a whole fandom perspective, at this point most people want Gao Lang to win, most people think he's going to win. This is Kengan Omega specifically, where every other chapter is just a twist of some type, so maybe we could have that upset, but I don't believe it's going to be now. Gao Lang stocks all the way at the top, investing is going to be a glorious time when he hopefully wins next chapter. I don't believe it's going to be long, but we'll have to wait and see. Now for some stuff I mentioned earlier in today's video, it seems like most enjoyed the involvement of Tokita Ohma in Kengan Omega. Yes, I still believe his resurrection or the reveal that he didn't die at the end of Kengan Ashura did in fact take away from the, in my opinion, perfect ending of that manga, but still his involvement in Kengan Omega has been great. But it also needs to be made clear that technically Ohma is not the main character of Kengan Omega. That is Koga and Ryuki, as 100% confirmed in their character profiles. However, since his return, it does seem like he's the protagonist considering how much time has been spent on him compared to someone like Koga since his return in chapter 50, kinda stealing all the light, which is as expected considering his impact in Kengan Ashura. But in the future of Kengan Omega, which I do believe is going to last a very long time, stuff like that is definitely going to change considering he is indeed teaching Koga the Nico style, and what could happen when we do have the conclusion of the whole Worm Shenmue Long stuff if the story does continue after all of those events. And with that, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Shout out to the members of the channel, these absolute mad lads. Make sure to check out the recent Kengan videos that I found in this playlist with over 200 for you guys to enjoy. But that's it guys, peace.